What is up, everybody, to a new YouTube video. Today we're watching Piracy is the Legal Solution.
If buying isn't owning, then piracy isn't stealing, which is why piracy is no longer...
Oh yeah, for some of my viewers that don't know what piracy is, which I wouldn't say I'm not too surprised, because I actually don't know the analytics, because I haven't checked them in a long time. I only check how much views, but yeah, blah, blah, blah. Piracy is where you steal content. You steal videos, you steal movies, you steal sports games, and put it on your own little website, and show them to your friends, or show them to the public, show them on TikTok, and basically it's a free site where you watch movies and stuff.
Seen as digital theft reserved for risk takers and your plug who knew a sketchy website, now it's easier and more convenient than ever. TV, movies, sports, live events, whatever you want for free. It's become so normalized that piracy sites are getting more yearly visits than every streaming service combined.
That's crazy!
This makes sense when you consider that every facet of the entertainment industry has been destroyed by corporations.
Yeah, exactly. My social studies teacher said that we're cooked for the future because of how many companies are being bought out by Disney. I remember he tried showing us this one video about something, and it said this video is restricted by Disney because Disney now owns it.
Even if you're not a sports fan, you will relate to this struggle because you need...
I swear, I have to, but I hate using websites to watch sports. It makes me mad. It makes me frustrated because it's either I get weird ads or I just genuinely spend 5 minutes clicking the same button 10 times.
To see how insanely difficult it is just to watch a basketball game. I live in Oklahoma City and I really wanted to follow the Thunder and the entire Western Conference a couple years ago, so I bought NBA League Pass for $110 for the season. Silly me for thinking that one streaming service would have every game. League Pass...
No, it doesn't.
This only lets you watch games that are out of market, which meant I couldn't actually watch the Thunder games because I live in Oklahoma City and those rights belong to the FanDuel Sports Network. And if
you see, that's what makes me mad, because I want to watch the Bulls, but I think it's Chicago, the new Chicago Sports Network that's starting to get popular. They literally own the rights.
The game was nationally televised, that was exclusively broadcast on ESPN or TNT, which meant I needed a cable package or another app like Hulu.
I have cable, but the thing is, it shows the only sport I have on cable is, well, because I don't have I have a normal TV, but it does have guide and the in TV. The only thing it has is Little League Baseball, which is kind of fun to watch. I watched, I remember when I was 8 and I watched the entire tournament. You also have minor league baseball, or you're watching soccer games from 50 years ago.
Live or Sling, just to catch the games literally happening in my city.
I used Sling for 2 years, and then my mom was like, fuck it, we're not using it.
Right now, if you want to guarantee that you will be able to watch all of the NBA games in the US when they are actually happening live, you need to have ESPN, which requires you to have Hulu plus Live TV, or YouTube TV, or Sling Orange TV.
I only have Hulu plus Live TV.
Or with an upgraded cable pack.
And I only have CNBC, I also have ABC, I don't have HBO anymore. I have NBC Sports Chicago, I got NFL Network, which sucks because they added ads. And I have SEC ESPN Network. Those are all the sports ones I have. And National Geographic and National History and Fox Sports.
Package. Then you need Peacock.
And then Peacock, I always had to ask my friend to borrow it,
which is $11 per month. Then you need Prime Video.
Prime Video, no one really has,
which is $9 per month, and ABC, which would come with your basic local cable subscription.
Yeah.
The cheapest way to guarantee every game would be $66 in subscriptions and whatever your basic cable costs these days, which is on average about $25. So roughly $91 per month just to watch basketball, the cheapest. Now, me personally, I would never pirate anything. That is behavior I absolutely condemn.
I'm not gonna pirate, but I will watch Piracy.
But I'm not surprised anyone who would do it when all you got to do is go to one of the many widely available free websites,
Don't
click
use
the
Stream East. Do not use Stream East.
extremely clean and clear interface that says the exact game or event you are looking for and just watch it for free. But honestly, we should have seen this terrible streaming climate coming from a mile away, because as they say, nothing good lasts forever. And to understand why piracy is so rampant today, we have to understand this detailed list of problems that piracy solves. Netflix used to be $8 per month and it had a deep,
and now it's like $20 if people aren't using the same network as you. Cause my mom tried giving it to my friend's mom, and it used to cost only $12, and now it costs $20 just to get to let someone use it that's not in the same network as you.
deep catalog of some of the most popular shows ever made. The Office, Friends, Breaking Bad,
Dude, they took out The Office. They took out Friends.
Dexter,
They're gonna take out Dexter. They took out Family Guy.
American Horror Story, Pretty Little Liars, Law and Order.
They took out Law and Order. They took
and
out
even some Disney and Pixar titles. They had the Harry Potter.
They took out all the Disney movies. Well, there are some of them, but it's all the poor ones. And then Harry Potter's out. I don't even watch Harry Potter.
Had Star Wars. They had classic movies like
Star Wars isn't even in there anymore.
Shawshank Redemption, The Godfather, The Dark Knight.
I think The Godfather is still in Netflix.
Even had Marvel titles before Disney Plus launched.
Exactly.
It felt.
See, it's because of Disney. It's because of fucking Disney Plus. We don't have any good shows on any streaming network.
Limitless. Like the entire entertainment industry was in one app for the price of a fast food meal. Today,
Curious George 2.
Hey, $8.99 gets you 9,000 shows you will never watch. And
exactly.
That's with ads. And if you don't want ads, no problem. That's $25 a month.
Netflix has ads? Oh, hey, nah. I thought it was only Hulu who doesn't have ads. Oh, hey, nah, bro. I'm telling my mom cancel the Netflix subscription, bro. I only use Hulu as of right now.
Month. Plus, every studio with a morsel of valuable IP decided to make their own app. So instead of one library, you get 10 half libraries, each charging you separately. HBO Max, $21 a month. Hulu and Disney Plus, $19 a month.
Yeah, but they're connected, so it's not as bad as HBO.
Peacock, $17. Apple TV Plus, Paramount Plus, Discovery Plus, Stars Play, BritBox, and niche ones like Shudder, Crunchyroll, Acorn TV all jumped into the fight, each charging $4 to $20 a month. I sometimes have this thought.
$20 like Apple TV, I understand. Crunchyroll. That shit pops up on my TikTok every single day. Like, oh yeah, babe. Like those. One was like, oh, I have a crush on my best friend, but like, no.
Like, man, I wish I could just pay one price for all of the streaming.
Exactly. That's why piracy came in.
Services grouped together, and then I realized that's kind of what cable was. But streaming was supposed to be the solution to cable's outlandish prices and bloated packages, and yet they are slowly turning into the very thing they sought to destroy. Check out this old residential cable service price sheet from 1993.
That's not expensive. Just think about it. Yeah, you could get I would do premium services. Cause you get HBO. No, I would get the Disney Channel's overpriced. But I would say I would get HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, and then choose any one.
Just your basic news and weather channel.
That's $8.
Was the same cost as Netflix when they first launched. Adding just 2 or 3 premium channels like the Disney Channel takes the price from $8
not a lot.
to $20 to $27 per month. This is actually insanely expensive for
except the $25.
The 90s, especially when you consider that you did not get to choose what content to watch or when you could watch it. And of course,
PBS Kids.
You still had commercials. Streaming solved all of these problems, but in 2025, almost all of these problems are back. I recently wanted to watch The Founder after doing research for my
that is on Netflix. I watched like the first 15 minutes and I got bored.
Fast food video, but Netflix would not allow me to watch it since I pay for the cheapest version of Netflix that has ads. I was annoyed, but I thought maybe Mom,
cancel the subscription. Mother, Please cancel the Netflix subscription. I use Hulu instead now, or Disney Plus.
Maybe it had something to do with McDonald's having some sort of strict licensing issue that forced Netflix to lock it behind the premium tier, but it turns out there are 138 movies and TV series blocked on Netflix
Yeah, Mom,
advertising tier. For
block
$8
the
per month, you
premium. We
cannot
don't really
watch
need it
Spider-Man,
anymore.
White Chicks, Boys in the Hood, or even the Garfield movie. Half the time, you don't even know whether something isn't available or not because of licensing contracts, region restrictions, or
Oh
just
wait, no, they do. Oh no, that's
because
Hulu.
you're on
Never
the
mind.
wrong subscription plan. The end result feels exactly like cable again, paying more money just to unlock what you thought you were already paying for, thus making piracy the logical solution. You can go to these super cool websites that I never endorse because that is wrong and immoral, and just search basically any movie and get a high definition download. However, cable being much more expensive actually did have a slight benefit that nobody realized at the time. The competition for ratings meant that the shows that survived were usually the best of the best. Every network was fighting for limited primetime slots, and if a show could not pull in millions of viewers week after week, it was canceled. There was no filler at primetime. Seinfeld, Friends, The Simpsons, The X-Files, Sex
Simpsons was a fire show.
in the City,
Well,
Buffy
it's
the
still a fire show.
Vampire Slayer, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I could go on and on. Networks weren't pumping out hundreds of new series every year just to fill
Yeah, I remember watching the entire starting five. I also remember Formula One. They added Halo.
catalog space. They were making
I
sure
might
the
watch
few
that.
shows they produced had the writing, acting, and budgets to succeed. And to no surprise at all, these old shows are still dominating streaming services today. In 2022, Seinfeld racked up 19.3 billion viewing minutes on Netflix, making it the 10th most watched show of that year. Compare that to one of their most popular originals, Wednesday, which was everywhere in 2022. Viral on TikTok, Jenna Ortega was launched into A.
Remember that dance they would always do on TikTok? I remember that. It was like a cringy dance that went. I don't even know. And then I remember I used to be scared of horror movies, so I never watched it.
Fame, it was damn near a monoculture moment, yet it still drew fewer minutes than Seinfeld, a 30-year-old sitcom. Shows like The Umbrella Academy and The Rings of Power pulled in about half the audience of Seinfeld. Cable forced networks to compete for your attention in a way that streaming doesn't. And to take that one step further, today shows and movies are literally designed knowing that people are not all the way paying attention to them. Netflix has leaned into what's called the second screen era, where they assume that most viewers are watching TV while scrolling their phones, cooking, or doing laundry.
That's what I do. If I'm doing the dishes, I usually have something playing in the background, something I don't really care about. And I usually have it playing in the background. Sometimes I would have music.
Hollywood writer, director, and producer Justine Bateman said, "I've heard from showrunners who are given notes from the streamers that this isn't second screen enough," which begs the question, why would someone give all of their attention to something that is only designed to be consumed with half of their attention? According to reports, Netflix execs are urging screenwriters to have characters announce their actions out loud so that viewers can follow along without looking at the screen. For example, "We spent a day together," Lohan tells her lover James in Irish Wish. "I admit it was a beautiful day filled with..."
So this is exactly how they would say, "Oh, we spent a day together." Lohan tells her lover James in Irish Wish. "I admit it was a beautiful day filled with dramatic vistas and romantic rain. But that doesn't give you the right to question my life choices. Tomorrow I'm marrying Paul Kennedy." "Fine," he responds. "I would hate that!" Alright, what if some 3/4 of the time if I'm watching a movie, I'm most likely watching it. And I don't want to watch a movie that's like, "Hey," Clemek said, "Hey." And then Jimmy Neutron says, "Hey, how are you?" And I say, "Hey, how are you too?"
Dramatic vistas and romantic rain, but that doesn't give you the right to question my life choices. "Tomorrow, I'm marrying Paul Kennedy." "Fine," he responds. "That will be the last you see of me because after this job is over, I'm off to Bolivia to photograph an endangered tree lizard." This kind of
Yeah. Out of any animal they could have picked, they picked an endangered tree lizard.
Explaining feels completely unnatural, and real people don't talk like this. It makes what should feel cinematic like a
Not feel cinematic.
brain
It feels like a book.
audiobook. And look, I'm all for casual viewing. I know a ton of my audience casually watches my videos while doing other things. But also, I make low-budget YouTube videos that are free to watch, not multi-million
Well, yeah, exactly. Wait.
dollar
Oh,
films behind a paywall. I don't know about you, but when I watch a movie, I like to pay attention. By training viewers to
exactly.
expect content that doesn't demand their full attention, Netflix is creating an audience that's even less likely to pay attention. And the less they pay attention, the less they care about quality. And as long as they feel just entertained enough, means
As long as Netflix makes money, they're good.
they likely won't cancel their subscription. It's almost like they are conditioning the perfect audience who will barely pay attention to their content or their credit card bill so they can increase prices while lowering the quality for an audience who doesn't even notice. In the cable era, a show needed to be excellent to survive.
Exactly. I remember peak to Looney Tunes. Oh my. You see, like now, you don't see any nostalgic stuff. You don't see any good cable shows. You only see like those bland ones that are like, hey, what's 2 plus 2? So if I combine two stuff together, it makes 4 stuff. Like that's not funny anymore. That's not like how it is back then.
Well, not forever, actually. This started to die in the 2000s. Once cable became the dominant form of television in America, the few companies at the top could now take advantage of their market dominance percent in just 6 years, jumping from about $34 in 2000 to $47 in 2006. Meanwhile,
That's
inflation only rose
crazy.
14.3%
That's called inflation, guys.
in that same period. Cable companies such as Comcast,
I remember Comcast. You know those satellite antennas, dude. My family had a big ass one in our backyard, and it had like a Comcast logo.
Spectrum, Dish, DirecTV,
I had Comcast, Spectrum, Dish.
and Cox started
I didn't
bundling
have I didn't
networks
have
into
Cox
giant
or
packages with hundreds, sometimes
I
thousands of
forgot the last
channels.
one.
If you wanted to watch ESPN, you were forced to also buy Lifetime, QVC, the Golf Channel, MTV3, and whatever else they decided to shove into the bundle. You weren't allowed to just pick the 5 or 6 channels that you actually
They had
watched.
to
And
pick.
now
They had
streaming
to pick it for you.
companies are doing a similar tactic. They flood their platforms with new shows and movies you will never watch because adding volume creates the illusion of value, justifying their increasing price. Netflix alone released 589 new Netflix originals in 2024, just slightly over its 2023 total of 568. There can't possibly be nearly 600 new shows and movies
Yeah, that's probably why production is so ass.
worth watching every year, but it's all part of the bigger plan. Every year, Netflix originals slowly take up more of their catalog,
Ozark is a good show. Stranger Things is an awesome show.
and then they license less. In
Beckham, I guess if you like soccer. Avatar, I haven't watched.
2022, over 50% of their catalog was originals. Now, some of these originals are good. Ozark, Queen's Gambit, Beef are just a few off the top of my head, but the rest are mostly filler. They are
Yeah, like who's really gonna watch Bearing Down Sacrifice? Who's really watching Big Mouth? Okay, Adam Sandler. Okay, he's a funny guy. But who's really watching Glow?
watering down their product to save money instead of purchasing valuable shows, because licensing the movies and TV shows you actually want to watch cost a fortune. In 2019, Netflix lost both Friends and The Office, two classic,
Exactly.
reliable sitcoms that were some of the most watched shows on their platform, after Warner Media and NBC pulled the rights for their own services. To fill that gap, Netflix struck a massive deal to acquire Seinfeld, reportedly paying over $500 million for global streaming rights, and that's only for 5 years. So they would have to spend another fortune to keep the show. And this is the cycle we're stuck in now. Streamers don't want to pay billions to keep the classics that
Dahmer, I watched that. That shit's scary but
people
good.
actually want to watch, so they crank out repetitive, boring, low-budget
Netflix originals are so bad. I've seen Sacrifice 20 times.
originals that are literally designed for you to halfway pay attention to. Then they slowly raise the monthly price because look at all this new, fresh, original content we're giving you. And users have been conditioned to only watch casually anyways, so they barely notice the dip in quality. Plus, that's only one streaming service. Every company with a little bit of valuable IP started their own app, and they're doing the same exact system. So now if you want a library of great shows and movies, you need to subscribe to multiple services. The average household actively uses around 4 streaming apps.
For my household, we have Netflix, Hulu, Disney, and my brother bought Prime Video and Peacock for like a week or two.
And 8% even access 10 or more. That equals about $69 per month, which is just about the same price that cable was in the early 2010s when everyone jumped to streaming.
That's
Piracy
crazy.
is the solution to all of these problems. Piracy reached a low in 2020 with 130 billion website visits, which by the way is still a ton. But by 2024, that number had risen to 216 billion, and it's actually incredibly simple.
What? Yo, hey, I'm one of the. Okay, I don't want to. Okay, I don't want to endorse it or anything, but I use Piracy for watching some stuff. I don't want to endorse it. I don't want to say the websites I use. I don't want to say that. But please stay off those piracy websites. You will see stuff that you never imagined seeing in your life. And also piracy. It's a beautiful thing for people that, let's say, just don't have enough money to buy their own um subscriptions.
Simple as to why. Gabe Newell, the founder of the online video game marketplace Steam, summarized this perfectly nearly a decade ago. We think there is a fundamental misconception about piracy. Piracy is almost always a service problem and not a pricing problem. If a pirate offers a product anywhere in the world, 24/7, purchasable from the convenience of your personal computer, and the legal provider says that the product is region locked, will come to your country 3 months after the US release, and can only be purchased at a brick and mortar store, then the pirate service is more valuable.
Roku Ads Manager puts Roku's reach within your reach. Sign up at ads.roku.com.
Save up to $26 off when you get 3 races, plus our annual life.
In short, convenience is key, and people are willing to pay, but why are they making it so complicated? The music industry got it right for the consumer. They created something
Okay, yeah, but they only have one singular app that actually is good, unlike streaming services.
so simple that it wasn't even necessary to pirate music anymore. At its peak, Napster had nearly 80 million registered users downloading and sharing music for free. By the mid-2000s, sites like LimeWire and BitTorrent were handling billions of illegal downloads every year. Year over year, music revenue sales were dropping, and the music industry executives were convinced it was because of piracy. That's when Spotify, Apple Music, and other music streaming services came around to essentially make the Netflix of music.
You see, but the thing is, Spotify Music, Apple Music, YouTube Music, SoundCloud, Amazon Music, they actually, okay, SoundCloud isn't the best example because they do have some songs that are cut off from people. But Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music are the top 3 you want to use. Even if they have a subscription, they're the top 3 you want to use. Spotify, if you're fine with ads, use Spotify. YouTube Music, same thing. Fine with ads, just use it. Apple Music, you're just paying a subscription for no reason.
However, these services are better because there is no exclusivity. No matter what service you pay for,
no songs are ever gone.
Or you will have access to basically the same.
You don't need to pay for SoundCloud, Spotify at the same time. You could just like buy Spotify and then have it for your entire life, and it's fine.
Same exact music as any other platform. One monthly price and nearly every song and album ever made. Now, this isn't necessarily all good. This has devalued music incredibly, and artists get fractions of a penny per stream, but unfortunately, the customer doesn't care because the service is better for them. But we might be at a tipping point with music streaming services because Spotify is seemingly taking a page out of Netflix playbook and prioritizing their own music over licensing dance music, but the problem is it's AI generated, but that's a whole different video. Compared to now, it seems like in the early 2010s, streaming services had it right. All they had to do was not change. Piracy was at an all-time low in the early 2010s because it was safer, easier, and not a financial burden to just pay for the content you wanted to watch. Now, there are always going to be people who simply don't want to or can't pay. This is extremely common with pay-per-view events. For many years, Dana White and the UFC waged war against sites like Crackstreams, trying to convince everyone that he would get them shut down.
You kind of stirred the pot a little bit with the piracy, the online streamers. They want to come after you and give this thing away. So, any regret? It kind of maybe stirring the pot a little bit.
I'm glad you asked me about that because we got one. We got him. We're watching this guy right now. All you have to do is turn it on Saturday, and we got you. I can't wait. Turn it on Saturday, streamers, and see what happens.
Nothing happened. 4 years later, and you could watch any UFC fight crystal clear HD on a handful of different free streaming sites.
That's crazy.
Dana eventually realized he was losing the battle with illegal pay-per-view streamers, and to everyone's surprise, he actually made a deal that benefits the consumer now. In 2026, all UFC events will air exclusively on Paramount networks in the United States. That means
That's why people use piracy. I don't want to buy 10 streaming services just to watch one fucking sports game.
13 marquee numbered events and 30 fight nights will air via Paramount Plus. For $13 per month, you can get all the UFC events and all of Paramount's content ad-free. This is actually a monumental shift. For the first time ever, fans will have access to the fights at the lowest cost in history.
No, that's fine. That's fine with me. I think Paramount did a good business market there.
It's not all positive. Some suspect that this is the beginning of the UFC resorting to basically all the exact issues I have already raised with streaming services. Once the UFC moves fully to a streaming platform, they've got your money locked in, whether the card is stacked with superstars or filled with nobodies. That pressure to deliver massive must-see events disappears overnight. And honestly, that's already been happening in the past couple years. The storytelling is basically non-existent, cards are bloated with fighters nobody cares about, their upcoming talent pool is getting less impressive and exciting, but now the cost of 13 marquee events is roughly the same price as one pay-per-view. So as long as you get one good card per year, it's technically worth the subscription. They quite literally just cheapened their product, so we should expect the quality to decrease even more. Also, fighters have traditionally been paid based on pay-per-view points, meaning if the card sold well, they got paid well. Once that model disappears, the UFC has to raise base pay for their top stars just to keep them happy. That makes those stars more expensive to book, so to save money, the UFC will inevitably have them fight less. Fewer high-profile matchups, more watered-down fight nights, and a whole lot of filler. Fans will pay less, but they also will get less. All of these companies across the entire entertainment industry, besides music, kinda, have overcomplicated their model of delivering content to customers for the sole purpose of squeezing every last dollar out of the end user. I believe most people are good people, and I don't think anyone expects to get quality entertainment for free. We were in a good sweet spot in the 2010s, but greed ruined it. Now the costs are higher, the content is worse, and the convenience is gone. I've canceled nearly all of my subscriptions or reduced to just the ad tier because I just don't watch as much.
No, I watch Hulu a lot, but I was seeing Netflix. Maybe my mom could take down her subscription to the ads one because really no one watches it except me or my mom once every couple of days.
And I know I'm not alone. When the system no longer respects the consumer finds another way. That's why piracy doesn't feel like stealing anymore. It feels like the logical solution.
Thank you guys for watching this YouTube video. Make sure to like and subscribe. It's for free and it's not you guys do not have to pay a subscription. So you guys could make sure to like and subscribe. Because I work really hard on these videos. I try my best to edit. Maybe my video editing isn't the best. Maybe I don't add captions. Maybe I don't add stuff that you guys want. Maybe I don't add animations. But truly, I'm super busy during the week that I only have time for filming one day, and I have to edit that video that same exact day, and then I have to post it on a Saturday. So thank you guys for watching this video. I really love my fan base. I really love everybody that watches my videos. We just got the newest popular video, which is the most recent video I've ever posted. Let me go on YouTube and tell you guys. The most recent video and the highest performing video of my ever YouTube career is 101 views. I don't know if you guys could see that well, and I don't really care because you guys could go see yourselves. But you guys see 101 views, punishments that are still used today. Like I said, thank you guys for watching. I work really hard for you guys. But make sure to like and subscribe. See you guys in the next video. And peace, and you guys are really supported for me. Thank you.
Mas minha força vai vencer.